Hi, John. This is a happy surprise because I know you've had a lot of delays.
Yeah, but I've felt the need to do something today, and to make a very long story short, because I don't want to take up the whole time, there was an appointment that was made, and then it was canceled, and then this morning I found out it actually wasn't canceled, and but I managed to convince the person who made it for me to let me. Well, and yeah, the
So, are you on route to an appointment?
the car outside the appointment.
Okay. You look
Yeah.
good. I know you said you're tired, but you look good.
Thanks.
Okay.
Yeah,
So,
thanks. I've been working out.
oh yeah, I can tell you're like your face looks different, a little bit different.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks.
So, for those of you who don't know, this is my guest, John Whitberg. He is a survivor of the secret space program and MKUltra and Montauk, and he's sort of outstanding in the secret space program because of his recall of his alters. For one thing, he has many alters who have had many different lifetimes and experiences, and he seems to have total recall. Not to overuse a phrase, isn't that the name of a movie or something?
It
So
is
it's pretty
a very good,
remarkable.
a very good movie, by the way. You should watch it.
Okay, I will. It's
But the
funny. I was just
1990 version, not the remake.
All right. Okay. I take your recommendations seriously for SSP and Star Trek type stuff. So, and I
Thanks.
did watch Stranger Things because of you. I mean, that was an sort of something everybody's watching, but I resisted and I got through most of it.
Yeah.
Um, but anyway, it's interesting. I was just looking through some of your stuff online, and I just this is a personal thing. I just noticed that Alexander, who is your alter that was born in 1956, that went to Montauk, correct? Is it Alexander?
Yeah.
Your alter?
Yeah. Alexander Bronsley.
Yes. He was born the same year I was, only 1 month later. So I wonder if I ever knew him. You're frozen.
Maybe.
Yeah. So, and I am Jane Hatch, the hostess of this podcast. And John's gone. Wow, I had him for a
No, I
total of
turned.
5 minutes. Okay,
No,
all right.
I turned off my camera so that I wouldn't to improve the bandwidth.
Okay. So I was really excited about this interview today for a couple of reasons. And one was it was sparked by a chart that actually Brian Sang posted on Facebook about a week ago, and it had about 10 aliens on it. And it ended up having at least 150 comments under it. And John had a couple, and it was very controversial. So I'm like, well, I would really like to talk to John and get his opinion on all of these representation of aliens. So I'm gonna start by just sharing the chart that kind of inspired this whole interview. I mean, I'm sure we would have had if it wasn't this, it would have been something else. But let's see if I can still have all my. I hope I have all my tabs still open because we've been kind of on and off today. And let's see. I think I'm just going to start with the tab. Okay, can you see it, John?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is the chart, and if you can't read it, it's tall whites, Ebens, Venusians, Targetians, Greys, Arcturians, Pleiadians, Chimera. That was an interesting one. I looked that up and said it's a parasite. And reptilians. So I thought we would just go around the whole chart and get your opinion on each. And I have a few images and whatnot to share maybe as you talk. But why don't we start with the tall whites?
Okay. The tall white square is the only square that I don't have a problem with as a concept. I know in one of the comments someone said that tall whites are not called tall whites. That's technically correct, but also in U.S. military documents, that is what they're referred to as. So
And
it's not a correct name for the species, but it is a term that's in use in certain circles, so I don't have a problem with it. And
okay,
as for what they actually are and what they actually do, they are what the people of Mesopotamia called the Anunnaki.
okay.
They are the same thing as that.
I'm not showing it. This looks like gray talls or grays I'm showing right here. This
Yeah,
isn't this is not the white alien. I mean the white talls, is it?
no.
No, okay. I have so many things up here. Let me just see what I get. So we have a few images to go with. Okay, they're also called Nordic aliens, isn't that correct?
No.
Okay, here we
I
go.
mean, there are some people who use the terms interchangeably, but that's not correct.
Okay.
Nordic aliens are also on that chart. And there's we'll get to that. That's one of the ones that I find an issue.
Okay.
Okay, on the third row down, fourth to the right, that's a pretty good picture of them.
Right here.
Yeah, of tall whites, yes.
Oh, that didn't come up. You didn't mean that.
No.
This one?
Yeah,
Okay. That's a pretty
that's
good
what they look like.
depiction.
Yeah.
And how
Although
would you
they don't usually have blue eyes. Usually their eyes are
they look very Pleiadian, at least my concept of Pleiadians.
okay.
Is that correct?
The Pleiades does not have a an indigenous population. My everything that I remember, because I've been to the Pleiades physically in the 3D reality. Okay, this is
Wow.
not like me talking about astral travel or anything like that. This is 3D physical SSP memory
Wow.
that that I recovered naturally, with no influence from anyone on the outside. Okay, the Pleiades are a solar nursery. Solar nurseries are not hospitable to life in general, but particularly not to human-like life that we can apparently interbreed with and such. Pleiadians are breakaway humans, and we've talked in our other shows about the breakaway. Maybe we can go into that more tomorrow when I have more time, but just suffice it to say, Pleiadians that have shown up on Earth throughout history are breakaway humans coming down and passing themselves off as aliens.
So
Um,
a group of humans broke away from Earth and created and landed on another planet and developed
many,
themselves.
many other planets, yes. And then they have gone back in time on Earth. They have all throughout history, okay, in various cultures, you find this narrative. You find it in among the Native Americans, the ancient Japanese, among people in Africa, among people in parts of Europe, etc., etc. Of quote unquote gods coming down to them
Yeah.
in ships, in ships, teaching them the basics of becoming a civilization, and then leaving with a subset of the population never to return. And quite often, these quote unquote gods say we are from the Pleiades. Those are breakaway people coming down, and they're either the Germans, which is whenever you come across this narrative of like blonde, blue-eyed Pleiadians or white Pleiadians, that's what that is, or they look like the local population that they are descending to, which means it's some of their descendants who went up and then they're coming back and meeting their own ancient ancestors, which is kind of a mind screw to get your head around, but you know.
We've jumped ahead a bit to Pleiadians, and we've got the
Yeah,
tall white on the page. But
yeah.
I wanted to ask you, while we're on the subject, what was Pleiades like, and how would you characterize the Pleiadians, and why were you there in what altar?
Well, I don't know which altar.
Okay.
Possibly Heinrich, who is incidentally the one that people tend to recognize the most of mine. He's the only one who is semi-powerful out there, or was. That's a whole story in and of itself. But he is a diplomat on behalf of the Germans in space, and the Japanese. Quite often, they hire him out pretty often too, and to various alien civilizations, and also in between them and certain corporations that exist in space. The Pleiades is used a lot for mining of certain gases, which are used in starship fuel, and also plasma, because
Mhm.
these are very rare gases. You can usually only find them among uh, stars as they are developing or being birthed, and the Pleiades is the solar nursery. And so
Is
what
it
it's like, oh, go ahead.
is it a beautiful planet, or what is it like compared to Earth?
No, there's not really habitable planets there. There's a lot of a lot of very there's a lot of what are called hot Jupiters, and a lot of brown dwarfs, and a lot of blown apart rock drifting all around, and a lot of free floating clouds of gas, which are, the size of a solar system, uh, floating all around.
So
Um,
the seven sisters, is that the seven Pleiadi planets, and they're
mhm.
all uninhabitable?
Yeah,
Oh, that's shocking news. But let's go back to the tall whites. I
yeah,
got some information. I think you gave it to Daniel Sala about the tall whites, and he shared it to me. It's a document, and I think it's from you, but I'm not sure. It's about how our militaries, particularly the Navy, has had sold out very early on and
yeah,
was kind of owned by the tall whites. Was that your writing?
probably yes. I didn't
Well,
know
that's
Daniel had that, but yeah,
Um, I yeah, I
that.
think he you gave it to him during an interview.
Oh,
And
that like 3 years ago. Okay, I remember now. Yeah,
it was absolutely shocking. Do you mind going into that? I have the document up here, but you can tell me probably faster about how very early on the Navy became owned by the tall whites.
yeah, because Eisenhower basically gave the armed forces and the intelligence agencies carte blanche to do whatever they wanted, including use the bodies of American and other children, for in order to combat the Axis powers in space, who weren't interested really in fighting with us anymore, but he was that obsessed with them, and B, in fighting this the so-called threat of communism.
Yeah.
Uh, and so so all of the armed forces, they had some of the tech they had gotten from the Germans after the war, from the various black sites they'd been able to raid as the war was ending, but mostly, and from the Japanese as well. But mostly they were pretty clueless, and so they began using psychics to reach out to whatever aliens they could. And the Navy psychics got in touch with the Tall Whites, and the Tall Whites said, "We'll do whatever you want if you do whatever we want."
And
And
they
that's
wanted us, the children and our DNA.
that, and also our bodies to fight in their wars, even more so, because they are not doing well as a civilization. They have incredible technology, and incredible psionic capabilities beyond what we can conceive of in a lot of ways. It's when you've been around them and seen how they live, it's kind of easy to see how they were worshipped as gods in the past. But they are, first of all, they're not very nice people, and second of all, they have major issues with infertility. So yeah, they don't have all that long as a civilization as these things go.
They look like they're fading, literally like they're
Yeah,
fading from
yeah,
life.
yeah.
So the next one on that list was if we were going left to right was Ebens, and I'm trying to find out where. Okay, that's that. And I just had a little bit on these people. What do you know about them? They were second on the chart going left to right.
From my understanding, to be clear, I don't recall hearing that term exactly, Ebens
Yeah.
in the program personally. But from my understanding, they're the Zeta Reticulins,
Okay.
um, which are if anyone who knows anything about the abduction phenomena would know about Zeta Reticulins. And Eben means it's extraterrestrial biological entity, but just given a cute name. Oh, and now I have to run.
Oh
Okay,
no.
we will pick
Okay.
this up tomorrow.
All
Okay?
right. Thanks, John.
Yeah.
So yeah, this was very short. I'd say we did 15 minutes of a 2-hour interview. Uh, I was very curious in this document that or this writing that had been given to another podcaster, and it talked about how the tall grays very early on were negotiating with the U.S. Navy, and essentially they own it now. So, so much for Top Gun. That's all kind of a facade. So because I do not know a lot about aliens, in fact, I was part of SSP, but I feel like I dealt primarily with Germans and Nazis and Raytheon Corporation and the Navy. And they're I have been primarily, if there's any species I just know a little bit about, and I don't really okay. Let's see. So reptilians, the Dracos have been, I feel like, my mortal enemy, my handlers. I've seen images like this. I have not seen them, like John just said, up D, 3D. I've seen them with my third eye. I remember one instance, it was in Santa Fe, New Mexico, in the Galisteo Basin, which is a portal for good, bad, and indifferent entities to come onto the earth. And I saw one of these creatures, sort of like this, in my chimney, kind of watching me. Um, and I've seen them once here in this house. They don't come into the 3D. They're on another level. I've never seen that I know of a reptile, an ET on a 3D level. But I am overseen by these creatures here, the Dracos. I don't know why, because like I said, my abduction was through the Raytheon Corporation, one of the biggest weapons manufacturers on the planet now. And at the time in the 50s, in the 60s and 70s, they weren't as renowned for weapons manufacturing, but they were well on their way. And my father was involved with them selling microchips, capacitors, everything that we now targeted individuals are triggered by because they've used those on us. And the Navy has always been breathing down my back. I believe it was the president of Bath Iron Works shipyard where they build huge destroyers. They're called Arleigh destroyers, and they're nuclear armed for the Navy. And I was a reporter, and I was reporting on some uh the basically I'd heard they were using faulty parts, cheap parts in um the Arleigh, which was of no interest to me whatsoever. It was a side issue of a screenplay about the first female design engineer, but he caught wind of it, and I got on the targeted individual list, and they destroyed my life. And so and they've always sort of like mind control me to be near the military and the directed any energy weapons. Now, since I'm so connected to military abuse by the Navy, I'm wondering why it wasn't the tall whites, because John said our Navy is owned by the tall whites. So I don't know how Draco's got in the mix. They have an interest in me. I think trying to navigate my death, or the morning after I saw one of these creatures in my house, I know I was abducted. I was probably gassed and taken out of my house and onto a ship, and I think they chipped me. I think they wanted to chip me. I think I was waking up and they had to reprogram me or something. So yeah, these creatures, yeah, again, I've seen them in this house I'm in right now. I've seen them. Um, where was that? That it was all in Santa Fe. I don't recall before having a vision of them, but they could have been around me in Maine. They could have been around me, but I hadn't developed, or I had repressed my psychic skills. But I have no idea uh, why these beings have it out for me, because um, again, as John said, it's the tall whites related to the Navy, and the Navy was the ones that the president of Bath Iron Works, William Haggett, who is now deceased, thankfully, um, put me on the targeted individual list. And I've my whole life the Navy. There's been some connection to the Navy, and I've had handlers that were from the Navy. So anyway, this is not my area of expertise. Even though I was MILAB, I was abducted into the secret state space program. I didn't have the same kind of dealings with ETs that other abductees have had, very directly related. So I am going to pause, and I'll put this up, but the majority of the interview is going to come tomorrow, because we only got to 2 out of about 10 reptilian ETs species. And also I've got about 10 questions for him from a couple of you who answered on my the post I made about the upcoming interview, and also people that were and made comments under the original post that Brian Sang put on Facebook. So I'm going to let this go, because this is not my area of expertise, and wait for John. Hopefully we can connect tomorrow. So blessings. Thank you. Here I am again. Yeah, thank you again. I'm sorry this is short. Hopefully um John will be able to come back on tomorrow. And yeah, that'll be, this has been a crazy day because of his schedule and inability to be interviewed at his home for most of the time. So here we go. Thank you, and we will hopefully see you tomorrow.